107. Charlotte would actually outscore Boston 29-25 in the fourth quarter. But there were a couple of possessions we can look at. Let's go to, I guess, the last couple of shots that did not go in the most critical time. PJ Washington, the blocked three by Robert Williams, and LaMelo Ball going to his left off of an out-of-bounds play and just throwing up a three that didn't have a shot to go in. So which one? Let's start with PJ's first, because that happened first. When I watched that in real time, I thought that was a made-up play from PJ where he just had it in his mind. I'm going to shoot this coming off of the screen that he set in a pick and pop scenario. LaMelo hits him, and I thought it was just like, why can't you control the ball a little more and then decide to take Robert Williams off the dribble? You didn't have to shoot that like you did. And then watching that back, Robert just makes an excellent play. PJ had some space to work with. I didn't think LaMelo hit him late. I think he hit him in stride. I think he hit him pretty much as soon as he was coming up ready to shoot. And honestly, like, if PJ takes that off the dribble, great. But just tip of the cap to Robert Williams for doing an excellent job of defending out there outside.
No, it was a really nice play design, I thought, because PJ Washington setting the back screen for Rozier. Rozier cuts down and tries to do a little rub screen on PJ's man, Robert Williams, and actually makes some contact. Robert Williams has to adjust. He just took these like monstrous Giannis steps that I don't think that PJ was quite ready for. And there was a play earlier in the game when the ball found its way to PJ, and PJ pulled up very quickly, had his mind set on shooting the basketball. It was a contested three, and he knocked it down. So it's not as if PJ is incapable of pulling up quickly and knocking down a three-point shot. So I was surprised when Robert Williams got to the spot. I think PJ was as well. I'm not going to crush PJ for this. Had PJ had that recognition of, oh, wait, Robert Williams has the ability to step out and make this block, so I'm going to pump fake here and look for something else, I would have lauded him for his awareness. It would have been an incredible, I think, amount of awareness to make that next level play. But I'm not going to crush PJ for not making that. I don't expect him to. I expect him to rise up and knock that down, and Robert Williams made the better play.
Yeah, I was watching that back. You have to be impressed with Robert just getting to PJ Washington.
I'd love to have a Robert Williams. I'd love to have a player that could. I mean, it is poetic, right, that the Hornets were beaten at the end of the fourth quarter by a defensive-minded center, something the Hornets desperately need on their roster.
Yeah, what was it? 8 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, 3 steals for Robert Williams in this game. I mean, he was very good.
Doing it in the box score, by the way.
Yeah, 2 steals for Robert Williams. He had 3 assists and 3 blocks. Those are where the threes came in for him. LaMelo Ball, they coming in, last shot attempt to try to, I believe, tie this game up or maybe bring it within 1, something like that. LaMelo Ball comes in, gets the basketball, immediately turns around, going to his left, pretty far away from the basket, throws something up, good defense from Jaylen Brown. That is one where LaMelo had it in his mind. I'm going to shoot this thing as soon as I catch it. And I thought there could have been a better decision there. Again, LaMelo was incredible, right? LaMelo was the only reason that they were here. Terry hit a big shot late. We'll get to some of his other possessions at the end of the game. Like, I don't want this to be an indictment on LaMelo, who I just praised for having just a sick stat line. This was a shot where you didn't have to hoist that thing up the way you did. Maybe take another dribble, but you had it in your mind. Jaylen Brown had great defense, and that shot didn't really have a prayer.
Yeah, so 111-107 was the score, 15 seconds to go. Certainly could have gotten a better look at that point, but the way everyone was standing around, it did seem like that play was for LaMelo and for LaMelo only. LaMelo Ball has actually struggled this year a lot with shooting to his left. Like, his three-point shooting numbers, even in the corner, even in the left corner, are significantly worse than when he goes right. And so they had to inbound from the left. Maybe there could be some recognition moving forward that, hey, if we're inbounding on that side, we need to work some kind of action to get LaMelo going back right. LaMelo works on it in the offseason and improves his ability to hit jump shots to his left. So just something to continue to watch for. I mean, there were several plays down the stretch, especially on the defensive end, where the Hornets got caught fouling, reaching. Borrego talked about it at the end of the game. Discipline, having to work on that defensive discipline not to reach. I know I really want to talk about Kelly Oubre, who I thought defensively had multiple blocks, multiple steals in this game, was a difference maker in the second quarter in a game of runs where Boston would consistently get up big numbers and then the Hornets would fight their way back. Kelly Oubre was a big part of that. But at the end of the game, Kelly Oubre against Marcus Smart, he goes for this big reach, 30 plus feet away from the basket. And Marcus Smart is just too good offensively to do that against. He took advantage of Kelly Oubre and got the foul, got to the line for bonus free throws. Those are the kind of plays when you're a close game against a team where you're evenly matched, that the team with the more discipline is going to win. And that was Boston last night.
Well, and Marcus Smart, by the way,
great game.
It was a great game. Del Curry said it might have been the best game that he's played so far this season. If you look at his point total, he had 24 against Phoenix on the very last day of December. He had 21 against Toronto. He had put up some decent numbers early on, but this is one of his higher scoring games. And you look at his free throw percentage, it's actually 79% on the year. And so I think that might be better than what he shot in years past, but he hit every single one of the free throw attempts he had last night. He had 6 of them, and including at the end of the game where LaMelo Ball decides to foul him. James Borrego might have called for that too, right? I didn't see the communication on the sideline, didn't go back and check it.
I didn't, but I don't know if you. I didn't see whether he called for the foul or not. I don't think he did, but because it didn't look like LaMelo was trying to foul. He was trying to get the steal, and they called the reach. But I don't know if a foul was necessarily the best call in that situation, because you would have had a timeout left. The game would have been in reach, and you would have had about 2 to 3 seconds left on the clock. So if they did call for the foul there, then I think that was a bad call.
I think you do it. I think if there's, what was it, like 2.5, 3 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock, I don't think that there's enough time there for you to, if they throw something up with, 2 seconds left on the shot clock, you're talking about a rebound being had and then immediately having to call the timeout. And at that point, there very well could be a second left, especially if it's a high bouncing rebound. I thought you had to save the time. I didn't mind the decision to foul if that was what was indeed called by Borrego, whether that was instinctive by LaMelo saying, hey, look, this is the difference. I don't feel comfortable about the amount of time left that could be there at the end. I actually kind of like that play. I think I'm doing the same thing.
Well, Walker, that just comes down to me wanting to risk it and you wanting to play it safe. You are the professional broadcaster, cynical, hardened journalist. You want to slow the game down, play it traditional, play the foul game. That's fine. I want to take risk, baby.
That's fine. I did, real quickly before we move on, I want to go back to Kelly. Weird game from Kelly, and you kind of went into that a little bit. Played 34 minutes, so right out of the gate, playing a lot. 3 of 12 is not a good shooting night. 1 of 7 certainly is not a good night from deep. 8 for 8 from the free throw line. 4 steals, 3 blocks, 15 points, but at the end of the game having that reach, 5 fouls in this one. Just, really good. Ooh, pretty bad. Ooh, pretty bad. Oh, really good. Like, I've been pretty critical of Kelly's defense all season long. Offensively, he's been great. There's no doubt about it. Defensively, I think there's been some pretty major issues, especially with his team defense. In this one, there were multiple times I thought, great play from Kelly, just getting a hand on it, just showing some effort, making the Celtics maybe get out of rhythm a little bit. Had 4 steals, 3 blocks, like I mentioned. Man, just a weird game, not one I'm used to seeing from Kelly when he does impact in a positive way.
Yeah, but I think if you look back at that second quarter, this game, I think Boston was primed to blow the Hornets out. Honestly, I just didn't think the Hornets. I thought they started the game well, but heading into that second quarter, I didn't feel very good about this game. And Kelly, his entrance into the game made me feel a lot better. And so yes, there were some struggles, but I think when you take in, the holistic view on Oubre's game, I think he kept him in this one. And that's what you love about Oubre this season, is that he hasn't been sort of one thing. He definitely has the one thing that they need him to do, which is shoot the basketball well, especially from outside. And he didn't do it in this game, but he's done that over the course of this season. But he's also been able to impact games in different ways. So I'm excited for Oubre to get back into the groove. Tsunami Poppy, baby.
Yeah, I mean, the 8 for 8 from the free throw line thing, that'll help when your shot's not going, right? If you just don't miss one single free throw, then yeah, I mean, and you look at this, I'm looking down pretty quickly at every other game. That might have been the most free throw attempts he's taken on the season. He had 8 against Portland on October 31st. He was only 4 of 8 that game, and that's it. So this is tied for the most free throw attempts he's taken in a single game this year, and he hit every single one of them. So at least you did a good job there, and that's what you like to see. Shots not falling. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to get some fouls on me, and I'm going to hit every single one of them. So that was at least some good offense.
This is Locked On Hornets.
Listen, hold on. Now see.
I couldn't just blow by that one.
Well,
you had
because this is what frustrates me. I'm under the weather. I'm not at 100% right now, and you're just taking it to me. You're like one of these people that knew Nick Batum had a hand injury, and they were just slapping his hand because it's like we're gonna knock this guy's hand because we know he's injured, and that's what you're doing to me right now. But I just want to say, Sam, if you're listening, you're more than a numbers guy. You have heart, you have soul, you have agency. You are a person. Love you, Sam.
It's time for more of the Locked On Hornets podcast.